If there is any art a narcissist has fully mastered, it is the art of creating chaos. I call them merchants of chaos because they know how to sell it to everybody. They can literally turn the most relaxing and the most calming environment into the most dramatic, the most chaotic, and the most panic-filled environment. Therefore, creating a hell for everybody that lives around them. For these reasons, you can call them demons because you know demons live in a hell. And wherever they go, they take it with themselves, thinking that other people are creating it. Let's talk about this further in today's episode. I am Danish, a narcissistic abuse recovery professional and a psychologist. Welcome to my channel. The topic for today's episode is how a narcissist expects you to behave after creating chaos. If that sounds interesting and you're eager to find out more, please make sure to subscribe before we get started because your subscription to the channel helps in spreading awareness about narcissistic abuse. Chaos to a narcissist is what breathing is to you. They depend on chaos like you depend on oxygen to live. Chaos is what their being contains. It is what they take everywhere. It oozes out of them. It is what their internal environment is made up of, and that's the reason why their external environment has to sink in with their internal one. They create some kind of balance through spreading chaos, and the reason is they do not want to be engulfed by it. They do not want to face their suppressed shit, that shame, those insecurities. So they have to stir chaos to feel the high, to be there, to create emotional volatility, not only for you, but for themselves as well, so that they remain distracted. But the question is, at whose expense do they remain distracted by creating chaos? Unfortunately, at your expense. Chaos may be their food, it may be their oxygen, but it's not yours. It's extremely draining to be fighting all the time. It's sleep time, and there goes the narcissist trying to fight with you over something that you did 10 months ago. Something you said, and now all of a sudden they're upset and they destroy your sleep. After destroying your sleep, they fall asleep like a baby while you are crying and they don't care. This is why they regulate themselves emotionally through feeding off of you, through preying on you, and that is what makes them a predator. When they create chaos, their entitlement tells them that you should beg for their forgiveness, that you should go above and beyond to fix them, to make the situation right, when they're the ones disturbing the homeostasis, when they're the ones causing trouble, causing pain. No, their grandiosity tells them that it's okay for you now to bring in a solution, to do something about it, to try to please them, to try to placate their ego, to try to take responsibility and punish yourself or go through the punishment they put you through. Chaos is not just what they say or what they do. Chaos is what you go through separately while they enjoy being relaxed. They feel relaxed by watching you suffer. Let me share some of my personal experiences here. If you do not know already, my father is an overt malignant narcissist and my mother is a covert narcissist. Both created chaos but in different ways, and they responded differently after creating their own personal chaos for us, particularly for me. My father was extreme when creating chaos. He would break things, yell, shout, scream, beat people up, batter us psychologically, physically, and then become extremely rigid to destroy the occasion. He would do it in a way that would leave me feeling totally exhausted, because that rigidity made him rock-like in that moment. He wouldn't budge, he wouldn't move. I remember begging and asking him to just let go. He would always do it on a big day, maybe it's a celebration of some kind, and you say something in the wrong way, they get triggered very, very easily, and he takes offense. he feels criticized, he feels ignored because the occasion is not about him. And then there goes the chaos. He breaks things, as I said, he abuses in all types of ways, and then he says, I'm not going to go. When we depend on him, he has to take us to a certain place and he has to play that main role. He withholds that. He would become so rigid that no matter what you did, like you could hurt yourself and beat yourself physically and say whatever you could, give him everything that you have, offer him everything and say, please forgive me. It's my mistake. I made a mistake. Let's move on now. No, he would not care. And that's how the day would end. The chaos upon chaos, it's like layers of chaos stacked upon each other. It's a never-ending battle. The crazy thing is, he would then eat, sleep properly, and we, as his children, would suffer while he would watch it and not care about it at all. He would not show any empathy whatsoever. I think he felt powerful about being able to destroy it that way. Coming to my covertly narcissistic mother, she would create chaos in a very suffocating way because she wouldn't yell, she wouldn't scream, no physical or verbal abuse, but she would do things quite intentionally, like make faces, not make eye contact, or act like she is suffering on a big day when eyeballs are not on her, when nobody is talking about her, when she is not the special one. She would sulk and act like she is suffering and she is in deep pain when that wouldn't be her reality, only to get everybody to ask her, what's wrong with you? Just drain that color out of that occasion and leave it quite gray. Instead of playing out and celebrating the day, I would always be worried. How is my mom doing? What do I need to do to fix her? What do I need to bring her back? That was the impact of chaos on me. If by any chance you would enjoy your day or say, it's an ongoing thing, let me ignore it and let me enjoy the moment, she would give you silent treatment. She would stonewall you and act like you have betrayed her. The grandiose entitlement was, the expectation was that you have to suffer with my fake suffering. If I am creating chaos, if I am draining everybody, you have to be drained and you have to recharge my soul. You have to make it about me. That is what their expectation is. That is what they want you to do after creating chaos. This kind of experience changes our perception of holidays, of big days, of anniversaries. Birthdays do not remain birthdays. They become chaos days. Christmas doesn't remain Christmas for us. Christmas becomes a day when they will complain about dishes and people and gifts and so on. Anniversaries become very chaotic. They remind us of all the pain they have inflicted and keep on inflicting. Basically, they leave us with nothing positive to recall, to wait for, to rejoice, to create space for, to work for, to prepare for. It's so dull, it's gray, and it's always very bland with them. The crazy thing about this chaos is that there is no reason. There would be no reason to create it. Like everything would be okay, quite settled, and they will still fight with you. They'll still find a fault in what you said or the way you are treating them, and this and then that thing and that other thing. They will have an excuse to put you down. They will have an excuse to make it seem like you have victimized them. That's where DARWO comes in. DARWO is an acronym that stands for Deny the Attack, Reverse the Roles of Victim and Offender. They will completely deny the fact that they started the fight, that they initiated it at the wrong time. They wanted to have that discussion when it was time for you guys to sleep. No, they won't talk about that. They will reverse the roles of victim and offender. They will make you the perpetrator, make you to be the offender in that moment and become the victim and sulk. They will punish you if they can and feel quite justified in doing so. They will point out all sorts and types of faults that you do not have, but they do not do it directly. They'll first hijack your conscience and guilt trip you. After that, they say things like, oh, you do not have the proper communication skills. Oh, you're not a good cook. oh, you give me certain looks that make me feel quite bad and small, and you do this, and you involve relatives, and you called your friend that day, and they will have everything ready to torture you, to plant that chronic self-doubt and make you think you are the enemy, you are destroying the relationship, and this chaos was created because of you, and then you feel obligated to fix it. No matter how much you try to do so, you never become successful. You never ever find a solution. Why? Because there can't be a solution to a problem that you did not create. Moreover, it's a problem they do not want to end. It's a fire lit by them, and they are fueling it. They are constantly putting stuff in it to keep it going, to keep it burning you. So they do not want it to end. No matter what you do, what solution you present, it's always rejected, or there is something missing in it. They're destined to be eternally miserable, and that is how they should be. It's not a fire lit by you, so it's not your responsibility to extinguish it. Step back. It's not your trauma. It's not your struggle. It's not something that they want you to actually help them with. So the best solution is to leave and to disconnect from their chaos. It only belongs to them, and they can live in that bubble. With that, let's bring this episode to an end. Thank you so much for tuning in and for listening. I'll talk to you in the next one. Until then, as always, let the healing begin and continue.